I'm Vidyadhar Kagita. I'm a filmmaker. This college VBIT was my fourth option in MSET. As it's clear that I'm not your alumni, I was rejected. So you guys are smarter than me. I'm unsure what I can tell you guys of something of use, but I'll try my best. Let's see if my opinion changes after a few minutes. So, I was 8. I was sleeping with my grandfather on my terrace, and he was a drama artist. So I asked him, how do I become an actor? For that he replied, you have to study very hard. It took me a few years to understand that he actually lied to me, and I understand why he also lied. Fast forward, stories. Stories are fascinating. They are primal to our civilization. They shape our belief and build our worldview. They teach us empathy and take us to places both emotional and physical. And ultimately, they give us chance to live a lot of lives in one life. So I realized that actors don't come up with stories. There is a designer in the mind, and he's called director. So I decided to become one. So I completed my 10th standard, and I went to my dad, and I kind of told him my inclination of filmmaking. You guys can guess what happens when you put a bomb like that in an Indian middle class family. I realized I have to satisfy my parents, study well. I prepared for IIT. I didn't make it. I prepared for BITS. Didn't make it. And NIT. Didn't make it. And there's one last option. What is it, guys? Exactly. Got a decent rank. I have a curiosity on how little bit things work, so I choose mechanical engineering. I think there's something happens when you come to graduation. I think you guys might also relate with that. There is a certain sense of freedom you get when you come to graduation. So I decided to exploit that freedom to use for a hobby which I used to make when I was 15, making short films. So it was a thing back then. A lot of guys used to make short films, like mostly romantic stories and comedy short films. They used to have girls on the thumbnails, lot of views. So I thought I'll try my luck. So I asked every girl I knew. Luckily they rejected. So I made science fiction short films because they don't need girls. I was making them with my friends. It was like playing with them. I used to go to the college in the morning and do the visual effects and editing in my bedroom in the night. I used to do all that visual effects and editing in my small Studio computer with 2 GB RAM and 5 GB graphic card. The processor used to get so cooked up that I used to remove the processor and apply Colgate so that it cools down. Till date I don't know if that worked, but that's all I could do. But that said, you have to choose a career at some point of time, and this is not a serious profession. It was always a hobby as it's considered. So I thought it's practically not right way to become a filmmaker professionally just right after BTech. So I thought I'll choose a regular path. I'll complete my BTech, go to abroad, complete masters, get a job, get settled, and then concentrate on these hobbies. And then something happened. A not so close friend of mine passed away in an accident. We kind of used to make short films. Seeing him on his deathbed, it kind of hit me. I didn't cry at that moment, but I went home and I wept a lot. And I realized life is too short to do boring stuff. We never know when is the last day. I decided filmmaking is not going to be a hobby, it's going to be a profession. So I went to my parents, I requested them for 2 years, and I applied for FTII. It's considered the best filmmaking school in India. And I wrote and gave the entrance examination. And as usual, I was rejected. I assume the result is because of I have a very bad handwriting. So the only option I have left is self-learning, making short films. I made serious short films, and I used to do freelance wedding editing for money, and that was kind of there I found the team which I was going to make my feature film with. So then comes the big idea which you want to make a feature film with. A lot of people ask me, how do you get this idea, or where did you get it from? But the truth is, we never know where the idea comes from, where the thought arises. One thought combines with another, it bombards, and then something arises. You just have to be a fool enough to give everything and believe in it. And successfully, I found another fool who believed in me, a producer, Karthik Shabarish. We both have zero money, but we wanted to make this film. We believed in it. This is what we want to watch. We believe this is what people would also want to watch. And this is not some commercial or proper, some funding film. But we were like that. And what's the next step? Find more fools to work without pay. And that was my crew. So, to give you an idea on how traditional funding works is, you complete a script, you go to a producer, you pitch him the screenplay, he analyzes the commercial viability of the project and decides to fund it or not. And just like in any other investments, the more safer and more rules you follow, the higher the chances of getting funding. The more rules you break, the lesser the chances of funding. We were breaking a lot of rules, like no comedy, no love story, no fights, unusual characters, unusual structure writing. On top of it, the scale was something very complex. It was huge. The images which were coming to me were something which were usually done only in big scale films. But we wanted to do them. So we realized we have to make this complex project cheaper. So we tried to come up with unconventional methods of filmmaking, like using smaller cameras, the same camera which you guys are probably shooting with, those kind of cameras, using smaller crews, and very important thing, spending the budget wisely, only where it is needed. Luckily we have more control on where the budget goes and where the budget doesn't goes. Like for example, for the last 50 seconds of the film, we spent almost like initial 50% of the budget, and that freedom gave us something. So there are, in films, like there are two kinds of film terminologies. Like one, there are some kind of film which serve the audience, and there are some kind of films which create audience. We believed we were making the second one. We were trying to push the audience little bit. So we thought, let's go for the funding to the audience. We went with crowdfunding. So if you guys know what's crowdfunding, it's in a simple way, it's like small people, like small investors and film people, audiences who like to watch a film will fund your thing based on the work you do. But that's it. To give a better idea, I tried to steal a lot of words from another TED talk. He tries to give a better view of the crowdfunding. He is a Kannada film director, Pawan Kumar. I realized I can't do a better job than him. So if you guys want to know more about crowdfunding, you should check his video. That said, we decided it was crowdfunding, and I started writing on the script. I traveled to Varanasi, Uttarakhand, Allahabad, Ladakh. I stayed in ashrams. I stayed in homestays. I absorbed the landscapes. I met people, and I tried my best to channel that experiences into a meaningful story. And the script was completed in 6 months at my bedroom. And then we decided to make a crowdfunding pitch video. using the images and my budget plans and the visuals and giving the audience what we did, where we are coming from, and what we are planning to do. It's one of its kind of thing. And we released it in Facebook. We got good response from that video. A lot of people texted us saying that they're going to give us the money. But in reality, even before we were about to shoot, we just got 10% of the funds. We have two options in front of us. We stop the project or we go forward. We were fools. We went forward. So with whatever money we have, we shot that schedule. We came back. We showed it to someone. We got more money. We shot something. Then we came back and then we showed it to someone. We were in that loop. In that process, a filmmaker whom I admire came to us and lent his credibility. It was Nagashwin. He gave us his support and trusted in us. Then we realized we were not fools, we were doing something. That said, we were deep into this project for like 6 years. We forgot how much time was being spent. We were constantly bombarded with a lot of problems. It was a continuous process of trial and error, from VFX to editing to music, writing, editing, marketing, whatnot. And to genuinely do something unique, you need a lot of time. Most importantly, you need to have the privilege of wasting time. You need to venture into unproductive paths. In that path, you're going to face uncertainty, boredom, self-doubt, and if you bear them enough, you're eventually going to make something with something somebody hasn't done before. The film name is Gami. It's released. It found its audience and it made decent profits, and we were right. If you can dream it, you can film it. No matter what are your limitations, you can make the film, and these kind of films, these kind of meaningful films can be made commercially viable. That said, I want to break a myth for you guys. I think chala manam ippudu vinuntam 7th class lo, like 7th is your life changing thing, man. This is going to make it board exam, study 6th class start ayipotundi. And then again 10th standard. 10th, this is your life changing SSC. You have to crack it 500 plus. And then comes Inter, IIT. Okay, then you no matter you crack some BTech or whatever it is. Then again, the final job, that's going to be a life changing thing. I've been through that and I've seen my friends go through that, and with whatever my life experience, I've met a lot of good influential people who achieved something in their life. I can tell you something, none of that matters. Everyone is same. Success is extremely subjective. What you want to find meaning in your life is up to you. It's for you to define it. You're going to dream up things. People are going to question you. But what matters is your unshattering belief towards it. But the thing is, you can't buy belief. You can't steal it. It has to organically come. And one thing I realized we learned as a team by making this film is, no matter how big a problem you face, if you can break it into smaller problems, it's easier to solve. I'll end this talk with a dialogue from my film. మనకేం జరుగుతుంది అనేది మన చేతుల్లో లేదు, కానీ అలా జరిగిన దానికి తిరిగి మనం ఏం చేయగలుగుతాం ఖచ్చితంగా మన చేతుల్లోనే ఉంటుంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ.